Welcome to another episode of Parks Wreck and Roll. This time, we've decided to throw open the vault and pull out some of our favorite segments from last year. Montgomery County has a lot to offer: community events, cool clubs, and learning opportunities for the whole family. We have great places to get fit, give back, and make friends along the way. Oh, and don't forget about exploring our rivers, lakes, and trails.
It's a beautiful piece of land to work with.
So without further ado, let's see what's digging. Our April episode focused on the community garden program run through the Department of Parks. Kelly Holzendolf was our guide.
Ursula, tell me a little bit about this location.
So this is South Germantown. It was our first location up county. It has been an extremely popular location for us. The gardeners have been so enthusiastic here, asking for more space. There's been a lot of demand from other county members that we came back in this winter and we expanded to this newer location over here, which is another 30 large plots. And a large plot for us is 20 by 20 or 400 square feet, but we also offer smaller plots, which are 10 by 20 or 200 square feet.
I signed up for 2 plots. So I have this plot and another plot over there, and renewed my plots this year and plan on renewing again next year.
Now, are all the plots at this location full?
They are. They actually filled up in about 4 days.
How many locations do we have, community garden locations?
We have currently 10 gardens, and in the 10 gardens we have about 600 gardeners.
So what is the commitment like to garden at the community gardens?
So we have a couple of different things. First is the financial commitment. The plots, depending on their size, so the 200 square foot plot runs $30 for a year, all the way up to our Briggs Cheney site, which is our largest site at 625 square feet, and they are $70 for the year. The second commitment would truly be time. The guidelines are really quite specific about making sure you weed your plot, you maintain your plot, that it looks good at all times, that you have to do spring and fall cleanup.
What I love about having a community garden is being able to come out here. It's so peaceful, you de-stress and, you know, really work. It's more like a workout for me.
To some people it's work, you know, but to us it's like, it's just therapy. I mean, it's just fun.
Cheaper than a gym membership.
Exactly. Well, I was looking for a community garden because I've always had a garden in my backyard, but it's just not big enough. Hey guys. How are you? Good, how are you? You know, I just love it. I come over every day. It's just peaceful and it's gratifying when you grow things.
What types of things are the gardeners growing?
Ooh, we have everything from asparagus being planted right next to us.
Cauliflower, broccoli, mustard greens, Brussels sprouts. I love a lot of greens, so every time I go to the supermarket, I spend a ton of money buying spinach and lettuce and all of the greens that we like to eat and we should be eating. It's getting more and more expensive, so having this garden here to grow my own, it's really helpful to my family, and I really appreciate having the program.
The community aspect of the gardening, how do they keep in touch with one another?
So I have set up Yahoo groups. You guys have already been in here for at least a full year.
Right.
Each group is on both the main Yahoo site, which they get newsletters and updates from me on, and then they have their individual gardener locations. So this garden has a Germantown Yahoo group, and so they can all talk to each other. I'm getting a compost delivery. Who wants to be in on that? Who's got a tiller that they can loan?
I tilled that one and that one and that one and a little bit over there.
You know, everybody's different, but we're all kind of cut from the same cloth because we have, you know, this same hobby. There are a handful of us that have become really good friends. Those are so nice.
And they're burpees.
We order things together. If we have extra plants, extra seeds, we do them, you know, we text each other, you know, we're doing this, we kind of laugh because, you know, we all do kind of funny things that only gardeners will understand.
But if folks want to get involved with our community gardening program, what do they need to do?
Probably the very first thing that they should do is look at our website, which is parkscommunitygardens.org. All the application, the fees, the contract, everything's available on that website, and they can see a full listing of all our sites and their status.
Well, that is all great information, Ursula. Thank you so much for letting me drop in on you today. And folks can go to parkscommunitygardens.org.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay tuned.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Since we filmed that show, another community garden was added to the mulch pile, the one on King Street in Silver Spring, and 2 more are planned for 2012. In May, we dropped in on a group of ceramic artists who take classes through the Montgomery County Department of Recreation. Valerie Graham showed us the way with clay.
I'm here at the Sligo Creek Pottery Studio. This building doesn't look like much, but I'm told that there's pottery magic happening inside. Let's go see what's going on.
Valerie, nice to meet you. I'm Angela, the instructor. We have a doctor's smock from a former student. Okay.
Thank you.
One of the first things we do for beginning students is teach them how to make a pinch pot. Slowly push your thumb in, then grab it with your fingers and pinch.
Hence the name Pinch Pot.
Smart girl. Sligo Creek Pottery is at the intersection of Dale and Wayne Avenue in Silver Spring, inside the Beltway. It was formerly Blair High School. Originally, the class started over 60 years ago. This is, I would say, more of a senior class.
I was in the class, which was then adult ed, in 1973-74 I started. And I have some notes here from during that time, and I have records of each pot. It's as much fun as it was back in the 70s.
My youngest one went off to preschool for 2 hours. This was 25 years ago. And I saw this class put up, this class, and I came running over. A lot of work. Well, 25 years of work.
They said there's a potter named Michael Cardew. He was a British potter, and he said it took 7 years of work every day to become a production potter. So I try to tell the students, don't get upset if they can't make a pot in one session.
I teach nursing at Montgomery College on Tacoma Park campus. It's my release. My job is so flexible that this is the best.
In college, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to be a paleontologist, a historian, or an artist. And I decided I did not have the talent for being an artist, so I became a paleontologist. Haven't done paleontology for a long time, I guess you might say. I'm making my own fossils here.
I started collecting owls in college. I found a lot of great ceramic pieces and jewelry at thrift stores, and so that the image is always in my mind.
The people are really nice. It's just sometimes you can spend a couple of hours in here and really not converse with anyone else. You're just really into what you're doing.
Pottery is a great stress reliever. I'm a cameraman, and my flexible schedule allows me to come here in the middle of the day sometimes with lots of retired people.
I'm still struggling, and he goes and slaps it up, and look at the bowls, look at him.
This is our kiln room, and we're very lucky in that we have 6 brand new kilns. The pots are brought in here to dry, and once they're dry, we put them in the kiln over there to be bisque fired. They're bisque fired, we remove them, we take them out onto the tables where students pick them up again. They glaze them in the glaze of their choice.
And this is applying the glossy finish to the pottery. So I'm happy.
They then return them over here to these shelves. We fire them, they come out of this kiln.
So this is Christmas. You get to open it up and see what's inside.
We return them out in the final stage.
The Department of Recreation offers many other art classes. Just go to montgomerycountymd.gov/rec for a complete listing. So if art isn't your thing, what about hurling frisbees through groves of trees? In July, we headed to Seneca Creek State Park in Gaithersburg, where a group of disc golfers meet up once a week for a little R&R.
Nice. I'm Mark Stiles, president of the Cedar Farm Golf Club. You can see where we get our name from. The course is littered with the cedar trees that provide a very interesting challenge when you're playing disc golf. It's a club that was formed to work with the Seneca Creek State Park Rangers to get this course developed and turned into what it is today. One of the nice things about disc golf, as compared to ball golf, as we refer to it, is that you don't have to modify the environment nearly as much to have a good course. We like having trees as obstacles.
And hit a tree, which happens a lot out here.
I love being out here in the woods here. Nice, beautiful day. Get a chance to get outside, walk around in nature.
Well, I found the sport in 1990, and this course was just going in at the time, and I was playing down in College Park. And later on, the park came to us in 2007, saying they wanted to give us more land and expand it and utilize more of the buffer zone and widen out the buffer zone a little bit more. And so, I mean, we tried to get a 36-hole course in, and they weren't going to give us all the land we wanted, so we ended up with 27, but it makes it a lot easier because it's gotten so much more crowded out here.
There you go. It's just a beautiful place to be. I love it down here, even if I wasn't playing disc golf, but playing disc golf down here, it doesn't get any better. All you really need is one disc like this and come out to the course. As you get more and more serious, then you start doing different things with discs. If you want to putt, you get a more blunt edge disc that's a little more controllable, and you try to make the putt, and that would be a nice birdie on this hole for me. And then when you want to go a little bit further, you'll go with a mid-range disc. And then if we pull out a driver, which will go further, you can see it's got a really sharp edge.
It's real skinny compared to the kind of throw and catch disc you're used to seeing in the store and what most people have in their house.
If someone's been out playing disc golf and are reasonably comfortable about playing it with other people, as long as you don't apologize for how bad you are, that drives people nuts. Just be whatever you are. And we love to have you out here because we like to have more people come. And playing with people better than you is really the way to get better and to enjoy the sport that much more.
Right, you can throw it right at me if you want.
Okay, you just want it real low?
Yep.
Now I'm going to try and roll it right past his head. Being able to throw a disc 300 or 400 feet is actually, in a controlled fashion, is actually a pretty good feat.
You got me.
Oh my. Well, yeah, the whole idea was to try and roll it past you close so you get a good camera angle. I really wasn't trying to hit you. But that does go to show that you are able to develop a fairly good control of the disc in terms of the direction you want to put it in, even when you're doing something crazy like rolling it on the ground. It's all just part of a skill set that you develop after years of throwing frisbees around. You kind of get them to go in the direction you want. So I'm really sorry I didn't mean to hit you.
We're delighted with what we have here and the support that they give, and we hope to keep them happy, because we figure happy park management, happy disc golfers. I hope you saw how much we enjoy this sport. If you're interested in disc golf, just come out and play. Bring a frisbee, stop in the park office and get a disc. If you're interested in helping with the course or learning more, join the Cedar Farm Golf Club. You can find out more details at md-discgolf.com, or you can write to us, care of the Seneca Creek State Park office. And we hope to see you out here enjoying what we love to do.
Our August show featured some young kayakers and canoeists. We spent the day in Darnestown with the Valley Mill racing team.
Yeah, you gotta reach. This area is a bit of a mecca for paddling. I think the best way it's described is Potomac River having all of its resources from flat water all the way up to Great Falls. You have a variety of skills that you can learn all in one area. And not paddling in this area is kind of similar. The best way it's been described is if you lived in Vale and didn't learn to ski. Living in this area and not learning how to paddle would be a shame. I'm Bruce Uthus, and I work here. I'm the director of Valley Mill Camp, and I also am a coach of the Valley Mill racing team. Our camp started in 1956, and my grandparents started that camp. Both were interested in paddling, and my grandmother was a national champion as well and raced. And her kids got into paddling as well, and so on and so forth. We started here in Valley Mill Camp in 1973 and dug this lake out, and from this lake a lot of national team members have come into the paddling scene. We have kids from ages 4 to 14, and they begin from ground zero. We get them in kayaks and teach them what they need to know, canoes as well.
Well, I like kayaking because you can do lots of maneuvers and tricks.
The lake is very refreshing. It's just really feels good. I used to do canoeing, but then I started doing kayaking and it was really fun. I liked it, so now every day I do kayaking.
Whenever there's a child that shows a lot of talent, then we tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, you know, are you interested in getting involved in possibly the racing scene? And we give them the attention they need to take it to the next level.
I'm Mermelstein, and I'm 14, and I've been paddling for almost 7 years now. I started here at this camp when I was 5 years old, and I was just in the lake, and I began to kayak, and I was getting better, so I tried out. Then they pulled me for the slalom team, and yeah.
And we have, over the years, had many people start out here and make it to the Olympic team. It's a couple gold medalists that have come from this little lake and gone all the way. Ashley Nee and Caroline Queen are one of our hot boaters, a couple of our hot boaters out there. Aaron Mann also is shooting for the team. He didn't make it this year, but they all started here learning how to paddle.
My name is Moriah Heaney. I've been a camper and counselor here at Valley Mill for 11 years. I've been paddling in an open canoe since I was 5. I work here at Valley Mill. I'm lake staff, but I'm also part of the slalom team. A draw, I'm gonna paddle through, and then I'm done. I'm now on the junior national team for kayak, not for canoe, but it's just funny because if I didn't come to this camp, and I probably would have never happened. You got it. Sweet.
I think the most important thing with creating an athlete is creating a community for the person interested in the sport to come into. And you'll see it talking to these kids. The camaraderie that happens here is amazing.
I'm Tyler Uthus, and I've been paddling since I was 3. And I started out on this lake at Valley Mill, and my dad's the one that got me involved into it. Off the ramp, you practice big air tricks, like you would do on a really big wave. So I'm just kind of practicing like an air screw so that later on maybe I'll be able to do it on the waves.
Generally, we train 3 times a week. At present, depends on the kids' schedules. It's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Sprint canoe and kayak and whitewater canoe and kayak have come from the state of Maryland. Most of our world champions.
The weekends are very booked up with either training camps or races that we go to.
Zealots, mainly in the metropolitan area, and in particular, it has Montgomery County, which has been fielding world-class whitewater athletes for 4 decades. On the course, we've got young Aaron Mermelstein, one of our talented athletes with the Valley Mill racing team.
And then there are those individuals who do some of the training on their own. So they'll go out on the river in the mornings, do some practices, and then join us for our team training.
It wasn't a flat spin, it was like a 360, it was a
It was like a space Godzilla.
The team is something special.
Not today, anyway. You gotta work your way up.
Out of that comes these great athletes.
New biking programs and courses were the topics for our fall show. The South Germantown Recreational Park added a BMX pump track with the help of More, a local mountain biking group.
Hi, how you doing? Good. Todd Bauer, nice to meet you.
And what is a pump track?
A pump track is a series of berms and turns and little humps where a person on a mountain bike or a BMX bike is supposed to use just strictly momentum to get around the track, and it is an excellent workout for your core. It was a joint effort with us and the Mid-Atlantic Off-Road Enthusiast Group, known as More.
This doesn't just happen. It looks like it's kind of random, but it's very strategically designed.
It's very engineered. I mean, their club, More, paid for the design through a guy out west who's basically wrote the book on this stuff.
If you can get up the proper speed and hit the line, you can pull 3 Gs in one of these berms. More is we're a local mountain biking advocacy group. We help to build and maintain natural surface trails. After we construct a trail, we'll take care of the maintenance so that with the budget crises the way that they are, we help. We like to put the trails in, and then we'll of course take ownership in maintaining them.
And luckily Todd was here because he's my guy that knows how to do this stuff. This is our first one ever. We had that construction project with Miracle League, which is that like youth handicap baseball, and basically they had to move quite a bit of fill to get their project in. I think we got 10 or 12 dump truck loads of really good, clean fill that was excellent to work with, and you can see it in the proofs in the pudding.
So we took the dirt from there, or
yeah.
the fill,
yeah.
and plopped it here.
Plopped it here, shaped it. You kind of strategically place the dirt so you don't have to move it 7 times. All that construction and moving with equipment, there's so much extra hand labor. I mean, the shaping and everything and getting each berm right, you've got to it's a blend of art and science. You got that engineering, but you also got that feel to it.
And Todd, you talked about the convenience of this being located near the HeartSmart Trail.
Yeah, absolutely. HeartSmart Trail, of course, goes around the entire soccerplex. And there are several neighborhoods that have small trails, neighborhood trails that lead to the HeartSmart Trail. When we were coming up with the location, we thought, what better place for the neighborhood kids where they can come in straight from their neighborhoods, not have to get a ride from mom or dad, get right onto the HeartSmart Trail, ride their bikes around, and then just access the pump track from there.
Let me ask you a question. This pump track, is this the only one in Montgomery County?
It is currently the only one, the first and only one in Montgomery County, at least public pump track, yes. There's no flat spaces here, okay? The idea of a pump track is basically like a sin wave, okay? You're either going up or you're going down. So as you come up one of the rollers, you compress your body, and then you push back down the other side of it. And it's just a whole series of compressions of your body. And by doing that, you're able to sit there and, like a sin wave, you're able to just roll around the entire track without having to pedal. And we have kids from 5 years old up to 45 riding the tracks. All right, so basically, as you can see, I'm sort of rocking my body up and down. And you come up and you're using your upper body, you're using your legs, you're pretty much using everything. And what this does is, not only does it provide you with a good workout, but it's also going to improve your bike handling skills, because you learn where you have to lean the bike. You learn where you have to get the wheels down for the optimum amount of traction. And the biggest thing is that you learn how to handle a turn without flying off the side of it. When it's drier and faster, you can build up quite a bit of speed. So that's basically how a pump track rides. That's it.
And our final selection, taped in October, involves a local advocacy group who has a big mission: to collect and transport bikes to those in need. Meet Bikes for the World and the people who make it happen.
Anyhow, these bikes we picked up, in, where did we get them? Oh yeah, a local bicycle shop, and it's actually a good bike, just needs some wheels. Bikes for the World. We are a non-profit organization that has the mission of collecting unwanted bicycles, which exist in abundance in the United States, and we put them to productive use, either here or mostly internationally. A bicycle is a productive asset for a working person. I've been both a cyclist and I also worked overseas in Latin America. And I spent 25 years traveling to Latin America and seeing people walking miles and miles and miles to get to work, to get to school, to deliver health services. Health workers in rural communities that were going around weighing babies and doing immunizations would walk door to door. And having a bicycle would double and triple their efficiency. And we collect thousands of unwanted bicycles here in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore region. We work here on King Farm in Rockville. I think we have about 500 to 600 bikes in the barn, and they really compact well. We work with about 100 community organizations. We work with, here in Montgomery County, with a number of Boy Scout troops.
My name is Tyler Rodriguez, and I am doing an Eagle project. Here, I'm expecting at least 50, and if I get more than that, I would be totally happy with what I have accomplished today.
I've got 3 bikes, my daughter's bikes, and they're now 17 and 15. These have been sitting in the garage, so I'm happy to donate them to the Boy Scouts.
The previous owner of this vehicle is now in college, so this is a little bit too small for him.
Thank you for donating.
We are donating 3 bikes today. They used to belong to my sons, and they've outgrown them. They like them because they were their first bikes and all that. It's time to move on.
You're gonna take this and you put it into one of these, actually smaller. One of the big issues is people don't have transportation around the world. They don't have cars like the US, they're not as rich, they can't go out and buy cars, so they use bikes. Bikes are a main source of transportation.
The cycling business community is involved in this. Individual cyclists love it.
I'm doing this because I've always been kind of interested in bikes and bike riding, so I figured that helping with a charity that specializes in that would be beneficial to both the charity and to me as a worker.
We got a container coming in, a 40-foot shipping container.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
I assume that it's going to be pretty intense manual labor, but I mean, we're up for it.
We make 3 levels, 8 rows. You average about 20 bikes a row. That's 480 bikes. Here's a perfect one for Costa Rica. 24-inch mountain bike, good for Montgomery County adolescents, but perfect for a Costa Rican or Central American adult. Whereas this bike is a 26-inch diameter wheel. We put them aside for Africa, where people tend to be taller.
I guess I'm volunteering because I guess I'm pretty environmentally conscious, and I feel like this is a organization that takes both the environment and people who from different socioeconomic groups, people who really need the help, and sort of interweaves them together.
We're trying to inspire other people and build a movement of recycling and of enjoying bicycles and making a contribution, very tangible contribution to sustainable transportation and to the environment and to recycling and reuse. And Steely Dan to boot. Full to do your dirty work, oh yeah.
Well, that's it for our Best Of episode. If you'd like to see the rest of these shows, just go to YouTube and search Parks, Rec and Roll. Thanks for watching.